It started in anonymity and ended in infamy. Almost nobody in football had heard of Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich before he acquired Chelsea in 2003, but he became the most successful and controversial Premier League owner of the last 2 decades before the UK government forced him to sell the club because of his links with Russia President Vladimir Putin. Abramovich spent more than £2 billion on player signings and another £90 million on hiring and firing managers, as a total 13 different men across 15 different managerial spells came and went. Ripping up the conventional rulebook, which suggested stability in the dugout was the foundation of a lasting dynasty. In this video, we will take a look at how Abramovich made Chelsea great. Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. When Abramovich originally decided to buy an English team in 2003, he and his advisors drew up a 5-club shortlist: Manchester United, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool. Chelsea were in a vulnerable state. Then Chief Executive Trevor Birch told the players before their final game of the 2002-03 season that victory was essential to help the club avoid financial ruin. Denmark winger Jesper Gronkjær scored the goal which secured a 2-1 win over Liverpool and assured Champions League qualification by finishing 4th. 6 weeks later, Abramovich bought the club for £140 million and immediately began spending money on top players to close the gap on Manchester United and Arsenal. Chelsea spent £113 million in Abramovich's first summer on 10 players largely of a greater caliber and prestige than the club were accustomed to, including Juan Sebastian Veron, Damien Duff, and Claude Makelele. The manager Abramovich inherited, Claudio Ranieri, was dispensed with after a year and replaced by FC Porto's rising star, Jose Mourinho, who won the title in his first 2 seasons, seizing on the wider disgruntlement at Chelsea's newfound wealth to create a fearless siege mentality that would form the bedrock of future successes. At 2005, a report from financial experts Deloitte, analyzing Abramovich's first full year at Chelsea, stated the club's wage bill had skyrocketed 110% to £114.8 million, a figure the firm claimed was almost certainly the highest in world football at the time. That same season, the other 19 top-flight English clubs combined spent less on player salaries than they did the previous year. Abramovich showed that you could be a disruptor to the existing duopoly of United and Arsenal through spending money, investing in both managers and players, and also that could result in payback almost immediately because they started to win trophies. To a certain extent, that opened the eyes of other potential investors who saw the glamour of the Premier League and realized they could perhaps do similar. Although Abramovich had no particular affinity with Chelsea and pursued a policy of almost never giving media interviews, fans quickly grew to love him. Before Abramovich, Chelsea had won the league only once, in 1954-55. Its reputation for a long time was as a team of flashy mavericks who couldn't play consistently well. Raquel Welch or Henry Kissinger would turn up in the crowd, as befitted Stamford Bridge's position just off the King's Road, but it was hard to square that stylishness or sense of celebrity with the club's underachievement, and still less its reputation for hooliganism. That had begun to change by the late 90s, when it became home to a raft of high-level foreign players. But it was Abramovich who brought success: 5 league titles, 2 Champions Leagues, 5 FA Cups, and 3 League Cups in his 19 years. This speaks volumes of how brutally effective and successful the Blues have been under Roman's reign. For the same duration, Manchester City have won 18, Arsenal have won 11, and Liverpool have won 10 trophies. Chelsea have won every major trophy in existence. They have joined the elite list of European football clubs that include Ajax, Juventus, Manchester United, and Bayern Munich. All of this has happened under Abramovich's ownership, which only makes it even sadder given how compelled the Russian is to sell the club. Perhaps he would have had more if he accepted earlier that football is a game that cannot entirely be controlled. Sacking Carlo Ancelotti for finishing second this season after he had done the double, in particular, seems a move born out of unhelpful impatience. Mourinho's first dismissal came after months of wrangling, but only 8 games into the 2007-08 season, and Chelsea had lost just once. Ever since his arrival, Abramovich has invested money in bringing in top-quality managers without hesitation. Despite Chelsea not being a massive club back then, he made sure that the club's football and culture attracted big players. A number of world-class players have joined the Blues this century. This includes the likes of Didier Drogba, Petr Cech, Eden Hazard, N'Golo Kanté, Cesar Azpilicueta, and many others. They chose to join the club and contributed in bringing a lot of success. But Abramovich also encouraged the development of youngsters from their academy. The Blues have some of the finest young footballers at their disposal courtesy of their academy. Over the years, wonderful players have come through the academy, and the process continues. The likes of Mason Mount, Reece James, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Andreas Christensen, and many others are some examples of the talent the Blues have developed. John Terry remains one of their best academy products as the London club continue to generate sensational talent year after year. Chelsea's policy of loaning out some of their academy players has turned out to be productive in most cases. One of the biggest achievements of Abramovich was making the women's team a brutal force. Over time, women's football has gained a lot of recognition, and rightly so, and Abramovich hasn't held back in this department and has given his utmost support to Chelsea's women's team. Since 2014, the women's team has won 11 trophies in total, including reaching the Women's Champions League final last May. It was only after Roman's arrival that the team kept on achieving success year after year. Abramovich had a seismic effect on English football. His relentless pursuit of glory, financed by the most aggressive financial method available, stood at the vanguard of the Premier League's growth. It forced others to reinvest money the league was generating through broadcast rights into better players, changing their business models to factor in greater risk for better or worse. There's a much navel-gazing now over where the money was coming from. Putin's war has asked difficult questions of everybody, ranging from how we power our homes because of Europe's reliance on Russian oil and gas to the morality behind the sport we enjoy. Abramovich ended his time as Chelsea owner in exile, alienated by a world that believes Russia and its oligarchs had suspect motives all along. But in determining whether Abramovich should be viewed as a Putin acolyte, whose money corrupted English football in the eyes of many, or as an aspirational benefactor enabling one set of supporters to live out their dreams within the rules of the day? The answer might well be both. So what do you think of Abramovich's Chelsea journey? Do you think that he is the best owner in Premier League history? Share your thoughts with us down in the comments below. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel.